Yeah, remember ThunderTalk, they chose counterpick in game 1. They had choice. Or that was their choice. And this game, they're choosing to go for the first pick. Oriana's up. Oriana is up. Very likely that we see that. Vi going to be the choice here. I mean, I know that there's the concern that maybe Creme can go Akali, but I think Oriana is so good. Poppy's banned, sure. Is Vi really the selection that's first? Maybe. We'll have to see. ThunderTalk starting off with their Vi prio.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like Tian now just has any pick of the litter he wants to fight into a Vi. I mean, he doesn't have the Jarvan. I know that's one that has been seen in late parts of when Jarvan was super popular, at least. But the Oriana does just come through for top esports.
I wouldn't even hate like just Zyra Khan right now. I think that, well, Poppy's banned. And to be fair, Zyra Khan hasn't been that strong, so I could see a world in which you don't go that, but I really don't like not taking Oriana. I understand Vi can be strong, but with Oriana up, after the performance that Creme just showed us on Syndra, I still think this is the best mid in the game. Jace locked in here for Tian. Sorry, for Zuian, not Tian. Most likely. Could be jungle Jace, but I really don't think so. Now, I mean, you're kind of forced into going a top lane answer and a mid laner. It's probably going to be Yorick Akali, and this comp is not good.
Okay.
I don't like Ahri into Oriana. I think it's really hard.
Yeah. Just going for the combo, it seems, because this is like the tried and true Ahri combo with the Vi. You guarantee the charm. You get all that damage, the burst down. The York does end up coming through as well for side lane presence from Keshi.
I'd love some tanks. This could be support. This could be jungle as well. But there's so much damage already from top esports. You just need something to go in front of it to block the charms, to help peel and stop the Vi from going in. There's tons of games we see Vi's go very deep, going for that really far dive. And no one can follow. Vi ends up dying. Ahri is a champion that can follow if you give her a good angle. But I think that the game, the way that it goes is, yeah, maybe ThunderTalk's draft is strong against top esports draft, but they have to be active, right? They have to have agency in the game and take it to top esports. And in that last game, that's not what happened at all.
Yeah.
I think that the early lanes are pretty hard. Like, Oriana's going to win mid lane early. It's going to be a while before Ahri's in a great position to actually take over this matchup. The Jason to Yorick is the same. It's going to be a while before... the Yorick is winning. Doesn't leave very many spaces for the Vi to get active.
It's all about this second phase now, though. What can they kind of assure with the rest of their comp? As we take a look at some of those ban prios, it will be the Ziggs that still is taken away. The Nautilus is actually the focus by TT, so not wanting some of the supportal matchups.
Yeah, trying to take some of this away. I still think you can go Zyra Khan here, and it's great. I think Braum isn't even too bad here. Not something we see too much of, and that's probably more support matchup dependent than anything, but I think it's pretty good into Vi. Not bad into Ahri. Maybe you want some lockdown for the Ahri, so maybe something like that could be a bit better, and that's why the Nautilus is getting banned away here by ThunderTalk. That does make sense. But top esports just happy to take away 80 carries. I imagine they're going to take theirs here, leave their support for counterpick would make the most sense to me. Could go Jhin as well. Pretty safe into the comp that ThunderTalk has. Obviously, if they get on top of you, it's risky. But plays at such a range can really work with Pantheon. If this is the Pantheon in the jungle with that Deadly Flourish and impact the team fights out of Ahri's range.
We know Tian is a very, very strong Pantheon. As the Ashe comes through for JackeyLove, you have now that secondary engage with the Enchanted Crystal Arrows.
Yeah, so I think that ThunderTalk are basically shoved into a corner here. If you don't go Leona or something like that, they're going to play Rakan. Then you can't play the game anymore. If you don't, they get Braum. If you do play Leona or something like this Seraphine here, they play Braum and they block everything and you can't play the game again. I think that Top Esports are in such an excellent position here in the draft. They're taking away the Seraphine from the matchup, sure. Maybe that's the concern. My thoughts were always on the engage. I think there's enough damage from the Orianna, Jace, and the Ashe. Jhin Seraphine is decent. I think Braum is so good here. It might not get picked up. It might be just some more engage. Maybe it will just be an Ashe Leona. Maybe even an Enchanter here, a Karma, a Milio. But if it is a Braum angle, I think ThunderTalk's comp is really, really hard to play.
We'll see if Joel is willing. I know he's been willing to stretch into the Camille as well. See if that is something you want to kind of pair up with that aggression that Tian's going to be rocking on the Pantheon. It's the Lulu that comes through. So some of that Enchanter prio and Joel's first Lulu of the split.
It does make sense into things like Viari. You know, they want to get on top of you. You have the polymorph for it. I think that there's not as much peel. I know that that's kind of crazy to say. You do have the wild growth, the shield, you have the polymorph as well. So I don't mind it.
I don't like it.
I'm a fan of the Braum. You're in? You're in on the Lulu?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, you're not a fan?
They only have one primary engage, and then they chant the Crystal Arrow. That's kind of crazy to leave for Top Esports. A lot riding on Tian.
Yep. Gonna be a tough game for Tian. The good thing is that they have a lot of range. A lot of poke, Orianna, Ashe, the Jace as well. Can be very difficult for ThunderTalk to interact with this comp. Another game that ThunderTalk just... They have to make plays. They need to play the game. And this is a comp that is not going to give you the scaling that something like a Xerath Rise will. Yeah, while the Jhin does have great scaling and does do a lot of damage in the late game, the Yorick has a side lane, sure. Viari Seraphine is a mid-game fight, skirmish-focused comp. And I think that ThunderTalk need to show that they can take it to Top Esports in this series.
And that's something we've been waiting for, and I want to see this go to 3 just so that we get a kind of deja vu of that first meeting between these two teams this split. But TT are going to have to show us a lot more in this game number 2 if that is going to be the case, because Top Esports took all the early game stuff that they were able to accomplish and turned it right back onto them, and it's a very similar style of execution that we can see here in game number 2.
Yeah, and if Top Esports do get off to a bit of a slow start like they did in that first game, ThunderTalk gets some leads, I could definitely see the game going, or at least the early game going their way, I should say, as ThunderTalk not the best at converting that lead into more, and I think that's one of the bigger problems about the last game. So going into the second game, again, early activity. The problem is your lanes aren't super great. Orianna's a tough matchup early game. Jace is the same. You do have the Jhin Seraphine lane. Maybe Vi can go towards that.
Yeah. A lot of decisions that Junhao is going to have to come to a positive conclusion with. Game 2 between Top Esports and ThunderTalk starts now. Okay. Went with the dramatic pause for the third Top Esports one.
Paid actors, these chant leaders.
Got the Storm Raiders, Jays in the top lane. Nothing else sticking out.
Not too crazy.
Yeah, not much on the
comment
fan of the room.
On the Orianna is a little interesting. I would maybe be more accustomed to seeing like the Storm Raider Surge, maybe even the Airy. Gonna be the Comet. Bit more poking potential in this. Less protection with the Airy, but still, it's gonna be an Orianna dominated mid lane. It's gonna be a Jace dominated start. It's gonna be a while before these like answers in the draft at least. I hesitate to say counter picks, but the answers are gonna start answering. It's gonna be a bit.
Answers answering. Do they answer answers or questions?
What if an answer asks a question? Like, what happens then?
That's a great answer.
It's a good question too.
That is. We could probably spend the next hour doing this. because it works so well. I do wonder, something a little bit interesting. As we see the little level 3 top lane action. Yeah, Zuian needed to kill the setup there. Keshi flash, he might not die. The healing coming through, or at least the life still there. The flash saving for now, but Zuian now has a little bit of an advantage over Keshi.
Very scary start. Keshi in the top lane losing flash, and like I was saying, these lanes, even though they are answers to, you know, Ahri's an assassin of, not like Akali, but a similar vibe, will be able to find Orianna over walls and look for kills, look for solo kills. Not yet. And the Yorick one specifically, not great so far. A while before the Yorick can start to really do well into Jace. The range and the early damage from this Jace is a little bit too much to handle. Bot lane is pretty stable despite it being very squishy, which I'm surprised about. Can see some already very early bases being channeled. Yeah, that is interesting. There's a lot of CC on the ThunderTalk side. So it makes sense for JackeyLove, right? You've got like parts of Vi's kit you can cleanse, Ahri Charm, Deadly Flourish, Seraphine's kit. But for Arn, it's basically just Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which makes sense, and Pantheon Stun.
That's the question I raised in the draft is, can be a little difficult to find engages as top esports here as time goes on. I think there's some more avenues for TT in that regard, especially with kind of the guaranteed success rate of an encore plus the cease and assist and things along those lines for them. But that will all come with the mechanical execution needed, and that has been the biggest question for TT. Both junglers got the easy start. They both completed the exact same amount of items almost at the exact same time, and now we're back onto their second clears here, where we might see a little bit of an uptick in action.
We might be level 6s, see what Tian can do with his first ult. Same with Junhao. Pretty good arrow, not arrow, pretty good vision from JackeyLove in that top side. Finds the enemy jungler. You see Creme doing a ton of damage in this lane already, but Feather's here.
Nice ward timing from Creme.
Junhao's on the side. Creme really wants to get this wave in. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
He did flash, went with the long flash, dodges out for a moment. Not enough damage from Feather. I don't think he can get out of here. Tries to get out with the speed up. Creme barely making it, but can't make it much further. Junhao goes back for first blood for a second time in the series.
Yeah, very similar start to game one. ThunderTalk active earlier than top esports are. Again, it's in the mid, not as early as last game, but still a very similar vibe of Creme wanting to play out the 1v1 lane. And ThunderTalk not going to let him do that. Now remember, we do know what happened in the last game, but this game, Vi Flash is not worth anything, basically. You just use it to get kills. That's great. It's down. Doesn't matter. Orianna Flash being down, this time is super important. You're against an Ahri who loves to hunt you down. You're against a Vi who's going to have level 6. Loves to hunt you down. And even though Feather's Flash is down on his side, still, you can rotate in, get some CC chain going onto Creme. I think Creme needs to play super passive now in this lane. Might even need to call in Zhuo or Tian to help push out some of these waves while he's got no flash.
Been thinking about that flash, man. I feel like if we could get a replay of it, it'd be awesome. Obviously, we probably won't, but wonder what happens if the flash goes maybe in another direction. But we'll never know. And Creme now will have to pay the price. We get the Grand Starfall, but guess who was waiting the entire time? Junhao was just sitting here, but they still find the combo. They still find Keshi, even with Junhao standing right beside him. It's the level 6 marks that make the difference. Zuian with a To the Skies to knock back Junhao. It's going to be the cross-map global that doesn't even connect, and a double kill for Tian.
Well, like Tian was leaving that kill for Zuian, and he was like, no, sorry, stabbed mine. Yeah, really well timed on the level 6. Just got it off of the Scuttle Crab, I believe. Goes straight top after that. So Scuttle Crab, we saw a lot of teams roaming and fighting for in the early stages of this year, and now I believe he levels up off the Scuttle. We're not going to see it here, but that would make sense to me. It's a great cover by Junhao. He's here ready. But like you mentioned, the level 6 is the early skirmishing from the Pantheon and the Jace specifically. Just too much for ThunderTalk to handle.
That flash from Tian was devious, man. Love Zuian as well, just hovering over, knowing the Vault Breaker was going to try to come through. And now, we've seen this position many times for dear old Tian. 2-0 lead on a Pantheon. He was completely the Grim Reaper in split number 2 on this pick. And I think Junhao is going to have a lot cut out for him here now in game 2.
Oh,
dang,
that's how the
close,
flash was spent by Heru. Comet would have killed. Creme. No flash, remember, still. And the RE flash is, again, not as important. That is a perfect hawk shot. Wow.
Yeah, we haven't seen any influence except for those couple hawk shots, the one earlier as well during that last pick fight. But JackeyLove now has hit level 6. Could be looking at cross-map arrows for the setup. We did have the lane swap come through from TT. They've deployed on up towards topside and put pressure onto the grubs. They've started it now.
I get the first one. Don't know how many more Junhao's going to... He's got smite, so he should be able to get 2. Not bad. Lane swap keeps Jace in the lane. And ThunderTalk first to the grubs means they get those 2. Creme still has no flash, but again, they try there. The attempt doesn't work. They're trying again now to hover mid, try to punish Creme without his flash, but he's just playing so safe on this Orianna in mid lane. ThunderTalk are not able to find a punishing timer onto this Orianna that doesn't have flash. Ari has ult, Vi has ult, Seraphine has ult. This is a great time, and Creme's just avoiding it.
And that's a really tough lane to be in for On, as he had to deal with the poke of the Jace. Still getting pushed under turret. Looks like things are going to be reassigned to their due positions for TT, but I can't help but feel Top Esports have won out on that trade.
Let's talk about the upcoming fights here, Mazel. I want to start a conversation about these mid-game fights. Keshi's not going to be able to participate. He is down 1,000 gold in this counter matchup. This is a very common matchup that we see the Yorick get winning positions in. Not typically early game, but when you... -1. When you're drafting a comp like this and going for this counter pick to be down 1.3k, not a great start. Ooh. Arrow goes wide.
Grand Starfall's still coming in, though. They could still find the damage because he's so damn strong. Comet Spear charged up and it's... Whoa! Gets the kill even through the flash. JackeyLove really wanted that kill.
Yeah, JackeyLove flashed in for the kill. Oh, hang on.
Yo, got the stutter on the Vault Breaker, the charm connected, and that is why
Beautiful.
You draft this duo.
Yep, well played. And Creme's flash was up. He has to use it instantly again, and he still ends up dying. Bit of an unfortunate occurrence in the bot lane with JackeyLove's flash, but if ThunderTalk can shut down Creme, keep him out of the game so that he doesn't take over it like last time, that's great. The concern then is, what are we going to do about this Jace? What if JackeyLove with this Lulu starts popping off? There is a lot of stars to contend with on Top Esports to try to shut down. They've managed to keep one down for now, but...
Oh.
I'll have to flash.
I'm getting chained down by the ghouls. Did flash away. Keshi taking a couple turret shots. Should be fine.
Might have even been able to kill that. If Zuian had the EQ, I don't think he did. I don't think he had E. Might have been close to a kill, but ends up just flashing away. Still a slow... Like, there's a lot of action going on, but the kills aren't quite coming through. It's a lot of flashes being burnt. You know, Grub Trade, the Dragon, being taken by Top Esports. Nice juke here from Creme. Zuian's going to go for the proxy with his jungler hovering, but Tian does not have ult.
Looks like Keshi doesn't want any part of that. Does look like, though, TT want a part of bot lane. Nice sidestep from JackeyLove right there. Doesn't sidestep the deadly flourish, but he should be fine from that distance. Really, really swift stuff from JackeyLove, and this also means pressure was seated on the top side. Turret should go down, and that's first turret for Top Esports if it does.
Yeah, JackeyLove living there. So well played with the movement. And yeah, he's caught by the last, and you think, okay, well, Where's the Encore? Where's the Vi engage?
wanna
Well,
take
JackeyLove
it.
has Cleanse, so as soon as Feather uses that, JackeyLove cleanses the Deadly
Grand
Flourish. Here
Starfall.
comes the Grand Starfall.
Enchanted Crystal misses again, but I think we're about to see a deja vu. The exact same thing happened just a few minutes ago, but now they're going to try to turn this one around with a TP from Heru. The curtain calls are connecting, although Junhao's gone a little bit over the edge here. Tian has just been tanking this entire time. Finally, the damage is starting to kick back on a TT, and Tian is still alive. The roam coming in from Creme. The fourth shot does claim a life, but he will go down nonetheless. It is a huge advantageous trade for Top Esports as they take down multiple members of TT for one.
I think the Top Esports were incredibly surprised by just how tanky this Pantheon is. There was a Jin hitting him. He has no armor, and he still managed to not only eat like most of the ult with his E. There's another TP in here. This time from the Yorick.
Creme was
I think
way
Creme's dead
too
here.
far
I think
up.
he's dead.
I don't know what. It's like the Cotton Eye Joe song. Where did you come from? Where did you go? I have no idea.
We know where he went, at least.
To the gray screen.
Back to base, baby. So this is, again, another missed arrow. Not really much you can do about this, though. You're playing far forward, you're trying to crush the wave, Pantheon kills you, but look at this. So, he didn't tank any with E. Tian is just tanking Vi, Ahri, Jin to the face, not dying in the slightest while killing Junhao with JackeyLove. Yeah, there's some shielding from Lulu. And Tian does end up going down to the fourth shot here, which is a pretty decent shot down. It was 600 gold over to Arn. But it's very difficult to get through. I also hate Collector as an item. I hate it even more on Jin.
Agreed. Storm Razor or nothing, bro.
I'm concerned.
Storm Razor or nothing. That's what it needs to be.
That's a good item. I don't mind Hex Optics. I think that's a decent item too. If it's a good game for it, like if there's a lot of melees and you can really leverage the range and get the extra damage, I think it's good. I think like either of those two first and then like IE second is a really strong spike. He's not going IE second. He's going Rapid Fire Cannon second.
Yeah.
This Jin is not going to have a lot of damage until much later in the game. Yeah, it is going to be a bit of a mosquito build.
Top Esports have redeployed some pressure down to the bot side. Dwo's getting caught out now. Does sidestep the Deadly Flourish and is going to use the Wild Growth to keep Junhao here. He wanted to try to delay some time for Creme to come as now they move on to Junhao. If Junhao dies here, that is insane. They try to use so much onto Dwo, but Dwo is showing the power of this Lulu. We were question marking it a little bit in the draft, but it has proven to be a massive pick, and that's a massive pick as well from Creme. The double big shockwave for JackeyLove to finish it off.
Yeah, JackeyLove just walks forward, dive in here and bot. Should be a pretty easy kill.
Okay, I've seen enough. They are gonna potentially die. Oh nope, Tian's fine.
Nope, he's so tanky. He's so tanky. What is this?
Time of death, 15:30, with a almost 6,000 gold lead for Top Esports.
Yeah, this game is not going the way the first one did, at least in the early game. But yeah, JackeyLove just walks forward and tanks every single Jin ult to the face with very little shielding and help from Zhuo at all. Manages to do so much more damage, and then Creme with the shockwave on top. Here's another Panth ult.
Oh, he does get it. They're going to go back in with the Encore, but they didn't even kill anybody with that combo. Okay, Creme finally dies. But now Tian has turned his sights onto the squishy members. Feather is locked into the back of the pit with no exit. They didn't get the eye. There will be no martyrdom this time for Feather. He cannot go grab it. And while TT get the objective, they don't get the lasting presence and the utility.
Trying onto Heru. That's a lot of damage. Forces the flash out. It's falling apart here for ThunderTalk. They get a kill on the Creme. Yeah, they've shut him down. They've kept him down in this game. He's 1-4. Someone's going to take a look at that on goal.gg and think, man, Creme had a bad game too. It's not Creme's fault. ThunderTalk have put everything into shutting Creme down, and the rest of the map has fallen apart. Yeah. 2.5k lead for Zuian, 1.5 for Tian, 1k for JackeyLove.
Doesn't that just go hand in hand with what we were talking about last game, where it's they put everything to try to shut down JackeyLove. He wasn't able to have a very good game. Creme popped up. Creme gets focused. Another head pops up. The Hydra just keeps biting, and Top Esports just keep going. And it's impressive to see across the board. Tian really a centerpiece to that, but I gotta say, whoa, with a couple aggressive wild growths so far and the pressure on a Lulu that he's presenting to TT, I'm pretty impressed. As Keshi, he'll be pretty impressed by
Keshi's
another
not impressed,
great
yeah.
oh my God,
Ouch.
man. Oh my God.
Yeah, wrap it up.
They have families.
It's Cloud Soul 2. If you thought it was hard to outrun the Pantheon before, after he ults you, you're not ever getting away anymore. This is one of those games, Mazel, that you just kind of have to watch. There's not a whole lot to say from an analytical standpoint. ThunderTalk are just kind of getting run over. I don't know by what. A train, a bus, a spaceship, maybe.
I think it's going planetary at this point. Yeah, Creme's gonna die. They were playing a little bit too far up, and they got punished, just like any
we're happy gaming
solo queue game. I love the observers take the time, since it's such a brutal moment, to highlight the travel form of the Ahri, just to make sure we have some niceties here. Well, those, whoa, gets almost 100 to 0, but the shielding comes right back, gets him a little bit back. All right, Top Esports starting to fall asleep at the wheel a little bit. We're starting to drift off the highway. And here comes a TP to try to get them back on track. Maybe it's a little bit of wake up here for them. Tian still surviving. He is going to get the Sundered Sky at the last second, but here comes Heru, who gets insta-kicked.
Oh my God.
As he is just gone. Zuian takes him down, and the arrow connects there onto Feather. Feather will just be hammer-slammed down. 2 more kills to Top Esports, and Junhao looking for another play. He's going to go help out with Creme. Keshi is the focus now. Creme locked into the setup here from Keshi, but doesn't look like it's going to matter that much. Just slowly but surely, Keshi's going to die. There's the last dissonance that claims his life.
So who is MVP for this game? Because Top Esports are winning.
You get 2.
Is it Junhao again on the Lulu? I feel like maybe this is just the bias from last game speaking, and yeah, I feel like he did more last game than he's doing this game. He's done some stuff. It's got to be Tian, but like also top lane, like Zuian is really popping off. This is a nice TP, body blocks the ults here, the curtain call. I don't know. It's between them for me. It's between top and jungle. I wish I had a vote. That's what I'd be locking it in right now, but I don't know which one. Both.
But it's something I do want to talk about, since it's getting a little bit loosey-goosey here. Ice, if we could go ahead and bring up that lower third that we were looking at a little bit earlier. Meanwhile, Top Esports is looking for more kills here. But this Top Esports team in the regular season just seems to turn it on. It's a meme. We talk about it all the time. For some reason, they just are dominant when we are here in the regular domestic season. And it's been really awesome to continue to see that here. It's sad when things happen internationally that don't maybe go their way, but this is a team that knows how to lock in and continue to be on the podium in the LPL.
I would like them to be on other podiums too, potentially in the future. A lot of wins recently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot.
It is a lot, and the fact that they are looking at a 6-0 week in-game score this week is massive for them. And not only that, but one of those wins, or one of those series rather, was over BLG.
Yeah, they're looking. They've got some pretty. They've got 2020 vision right now, looking at the 6-0 week. I know we're kind of having fun. I really don't see a world in which ThunderTalk can come back. I mean, there's a 1K shutdown on Zuian, sure. It's probably not getting done in 50 seconds. He just half hit on as well. This is becoming impossible to play as ThunderTalk, because you try to engage. There's a Lulu there. There is a lot of CC from the Pantheon and this Ashe. You're losing multiple towers.
Turns out you don't need more than one or two half engages.
It's exactly. Tian just ults on your head and you die every time. You don't even need to hit the arrows. It's just a distraction technique.
Hey, it's worked out for him so far as well. Unkilled for JackeyLove comparatively to that last game. We have Dragon up in about 10 seconds, though. Can TT put on an offensive? It doesn't look like they will want to anyways. They will give themselves another 5 minutes to kind of scale up, but a 9,000 gold lead 22 minutes in is a rarity, and it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, the thing for me is, like, where are they scaling? It feels like they're scaling down, you know? Like, as the game goes on, they're actually getting weaker. Because Keshi's supposed to be doing something in the top lane at this point in the game. He's supposed to be winning and pushing towers. He's down 2 full items. Vi is going to engage and die. Ari
he got the pick.
Ari's at a parity. Arn does no damage yet with this build. Maybe Feather could hit a really big ult. JackeyLove probably just cleanses it. It's dire straits here for ThunderTalk.
He's got the Bastion Breaker.
He does.
We rarely see this item, but it's kind of funny.
It's been getting a little bit more potentially. I saw a video about it on Viego, and then I think I've seen it a couple of times in Tier 1. Yeah, the true damage is really nice. Like, not the true damage to towers. That's nice too, but the true damage you can do to enemies. That's really nice. I wouldn't even be surprised to see like a Cyclo Sword. Just one-shot somebody out of a brush. He's level 17, by the way. Like,
yep.
What is going on? How is this even remotely possible? Keshi is the same level as Arn, basically. JackeyLove, Creme, Heru. He's up one level.
And he took this pick into the Jace.
This is a counter pick. It's supposed to win.
And it is not. I'll say one thing about Keshi, and I'll probably leave him alone because I don't feel like we need to... no.
They knew.
He got solo killed by Bertle 3 times in one series. I think that might just be a state of the situation for TT in their top lane, as they're going to lose more in mid. It's been a tough go of it for TT, and it's about to get even tougher. My God, Zuian does so much damn damage, man. What the hell was that? Jesus Christ, man.
Now, don't. It's not the item.
Drew
He's
11.
Nearly level 18.
Drew 11.
He has 3 items at 24 minutes. This is a humongous top diff. I feel like eventually, like if this game keeps going, we're gonna very likely get to a point in which Zuian will 100-0 on if he hits the EQ. He's level 18. He is 5 levels up on Arn. He is 7 levels up on Feather.
It is, it's hard out here for the TT bros, as we are kind of circling the drain for TT here. It doesn't look like they are going to be able to match the first outing between these two teams when it was a 2-1 victory for Top Esports. Top Esports have grown. They've matured. They are looking for a 2-0, and they are truly reinforcing that regular season Top Esports that has been a terror of our league for it feels like years.
Yeah. Top Esports are demons currently in this game. It feels like anywhere they go, anything they do, the game just might be over. The waves are pushing in. I don't think ThunderTalk can get a single kill here.
Charm goes a little bit wide for Heru. One last engage. Oh man, everything going a little bit wide. Junhao just tries to go for the initial execution, but he can't do it. Can't even get the kill. Can't get the lockdown. The wild growth comes through, and TES, they've come and they are taking care of business. Top Esports with a 2-0 over TT. They
don't even get Tian's GA. Can't do anything. Who do you vote for? Who do you give MVP to? Is it Zuian? Because my mind is like late game, like Zuian is doing so much, but then Tian did so much in the early game. I think it's going to be Zuian.
I actually think Zhuo has more of an argument in this game than he did in last game.
I'm not far from agreeing with you here. That was a one-sided affair. That was one of the biggest
I'm just
stomps
not
I've
allowed
seen.
to have good games. You know, I've casted 3 series in 2 days, and they've all been complete stops. Not allowed.
Not allowed.
That's my personal bias.
I mean, the beginning of game 1 was close. You can have that.
But yeah, about 8 minutes. Yeah, we got about 8 minutes of that game. It was good. We were fine. But let's be real. Like, this top esports team, they're terrifying. It's awesome to have a 6-0 game score week. But that being said, they can't kind of keep their foot off the gas because in a way, like, they've been tussling with BLG for that top echelon, and BLG still look dominant. You really want to try to finish at least in those first two if you can, and trying to solidify that.
Yeah, it's also good to see our teams be like the number 1 seed be contentious is what I'm trying to say. That there is not a solid number 1 right now. I still think BLG, it's probably likely that they're still number 1, but after top esports, after that series, they looked really good tonight. Couple of mistakes in the early game is all you can really point at. Game 2 was an utter domination. Keeping the league close at the top is what you like to see. It's what keeps it competitive. Especially with everything going on in some other regions where I don't really know who's the best team in the world right now. Anyway, I think that there was an argument to be made a couple of months ago, but now it seems a bit all over the place. Maybe that's just the meta and the way that it's going, but it makes for a lot of entertaining League of Legends. I'm really excited to see how top esports can continue on next week when they meet BLG again, how they line up against the rest of the top 4. And for ThunderTalk, I still think game 1, you can hold your head high a little bit about the early game, but letting that position go, big lead on ARM, pretty tough way to lose that game. And then in game 2, just getting absolutely blown out. Feels like not even in the same tier.
Yeah, and I think we are seeing some of our top teams really come into form because I think it's something we were all wondering ourselves, especially with a lot of the series going to 3 games in the first couple weeks. What was there going to be that kind of development? Were we going to start seeing that differentiation between the top 4 and the bottom 4? And I feel like we started too, and now we're seeing that kind of continuation here with the separation between WE and JDG in the standings. But it's still, for top esports, a lot of positivity between the connections of the team. Again, I'm not saying Dwo like instantly makes this team better, but it does feel like they're a little bit more confident in their play calling, in their dissection of the moments within fights, and being able to find the right avenue.
Yeah, I think that keeping a close eye on this team is good because we've got to be transparent. Like, MSI was a disaster, and historically this team has done that a lot, right? So it is very exciting, and I could very likely see this team going forward and maybe even taking very likely see them in finals. I could see them taking the championships in split 3, denying the 3-peat for this year for BLG. But we've got to make sure that in these big moments, whether that's Worlds, whether that's the finals of split 3 or the semis, or whenever it happens, whenever this top esports roster starts to falter, that they have to be able to stop doing this where they just completely lose it all. Because this is a team that's really scary, that has stunning talent on it. Be that old or new talent, they are a very talented roster. And I need to see, I just need to have that be represented to the community. I think that this roster is so much better than the public perception of them, or the version of top esports that they show at times. So they've really got to make sure that these issues are ironed out by the time we get to the split 3 playoffs. And I think they're en route for a championship, or at the very least championship contention.
All right, well, let's stop off at the TT camp for just a few moments. I don't want to go too deeply into it, but what needs to change on this team, man? What needs to turn around for them to continue building that little bit of faith we had from them in the first couple weeks?
I think that I want to talk about the WE series personally. I think that was their best showing so far. It's a team that is looking really exciting. WE getting taken down by ThunderTalk, and while game 2 wasn't great for ThunderTalk, I think that game 1 and mostly game 3 individually just performing better, having a better day, rocking up on the day and looking really good. and having a better individual performance is, I think, where you need to go from, because I think there's two things about this team. The first one is you can't be losing lanes like that in the top lane. I understand that the beginning of the lane is tough for something like a Yorick. You can't be 3,000 gold down in a matchup that you're choosing. It's just, he didn't play. He didn't play the game. And then the same thing in bot here. I mean, that was mostly for Tian, but Arn didn't really play. The second thing is you can't be having comps where Heru on Rise just doesn't play. And I don't think that's a lane thing. I think that the lane was fine. You know, they got a kill early with the Lee Sin, but you need to be playing your comp to its advantages and pushing forward that advantage more. Be that through Arn on the Xerath, or roaming up to Keshi, or roaming to Junhao on the Lee Sin, and in this game, having more solid laning phases. It's very simple, unfortunately, but that's kind of where we're at. The top lane was a massive, massive issue in this second game, and it didn't really look that great in game one either.
Yeah, and that's the differentiation, is like there wasn't much hope in this series, where typically there's at least one game where TT really have a good go of it. And I know we're memeing about it, but it was just the early game for game number one, and then since then it had not looked very good. But for top esports, it's still looking right as rain. Seeing some differentiation, the composition they're really bring. Obviously the Lulu coming in for the first time for Zhuo, but at least of the split. But being able to see that they can kind of flex around with the drafting, go stock standard like we saw in game number one, or at least put some pieces together for this game number two draft.
I have to say, for ThunderTalk, they fought. They put up a fight. They never sat back and like just lost. I think there's a fine line here, because I know I was just saying they need to do more to push it forwards, and I do still think that's true. But even though the game was looking bad, they still managed to find picks. They were still fighting, looking for plays, which is positive. But you can't let yourself get to a position where you're 8k down before you start to do that, right?
Yeah.
And that might be, again, the individual laning. It might be that you're not pushing forward your Fed Xerath and not using your Rise in the right way. I think there's a lot that ThunderTalk can look at from this game and say, okay, we had a lead. Why? And how did we lose it? What can we do to not get completely destroyed and blown out of the water? Second game is a bit tough to, you know, learn from, I guess, when this is happening to you.
Oh.
Bit tough when it's like, well, guys, sorry, Jace is down. Oh, sorry, Jace is up 6,000 gold. I guess we lose.
Yeah. And it's just the way that things went once the lead got that out of hand on the top side of the map. And then they just cut straight to the end, because I guess that's all we needed to see. Some interesting map states that TES were able to play around. Really proud of Zuian to have a performance like this on the Jace when it was picked so early. Some of the power points for TES were picked so early. But just as a whole, we're just going to keep talking around in circles till we get to those MVPs and see if Zhuo for some reason gets a second one here, or if Zuian's actually going to earn that one. I just feel like Tian is like anti-MVP. No, they don't want to vote for him for some reason. So, I mean, I guess one person did last game.
Definitely could be Zhuo player of the series. He put on a very good game this game as well. Won it in game one. I think that could be likely. It is Zuian in the top lane for this game. I mean,
only
it makes
52% KP, but 30% damage.
Look at the gold difference at the end, though. He's up 5,500 gold. 30% of his damage, of his team's damage.
606.
Yeah, he wasn't, you know, running around the map scoring kills on the bot lane or anything. But when you make the game a 4v5 on the spot when you're doing this. And sometimes that's what matters. You know, you get counterpicked. I'm 8 out of 8. That's kind of all that needs to be said.
Pretty strong. Beats the 7 out of 8 for Zhuo in game number 1. But I do wonder who gets that MVP, or at least man of the match here, player of the series. Because it's tough. I mean, I do feel like Tian deserves his flowers. Seems like everybody else is focusing on the other couple roles here, at least in top and support. But like you're saying, like, I could see Zhuo getting it just for the performance on Alistair that apparently people were really, really enthused about. But again, like I said earlier, I think his Lulu here in this game was so instrumental to a lot of those fights that they were willing to take.
Well, I think that if we were voting, I feel like we would have this locked in. Let's see what the official one is.
It's
Player
Zuian.
of the match is going to be
Okay.
Zuian. The Rumble wasn't bad. I don't really know how to vote for player of the match in a series like this, to be honest, if I was there, but tough one.
Yeah.
This is
24 KDA.
That is ridiculous, by the way. Unbelievable. I want to take a second to talk about Zuian. I was really surprised by the change. I've always thought of 369 as one of the best top laners in the world. And yeah, while he can have his moments, he's always been threatening, right? And then bringing in this new player, seeing the player that Zuian is now compared to when he came in such a short amount of time. I know that 369 is in the back helping him. He's now an official positional coach, I believe. Coming in and this guy is a threat. He is scary to play against. I think that he did really well against Wenbo. Again, it's not a top echelon top laner, but still, these are the games you need to have. This is what I expect, right? Going up against a team that is marginally further down on the standings than you, and on paper should be worse. To have performances like this is very convincing for me to see, okay, Zuian is exactly where he needs to be.
Indeed, indeed. What a series from Top Esports. They still have some tough competition ahead of them, but for now, they can go to sleep and rest well, knowing that they had a 6-0 undefeated week number 3. It's an impressive start, at least for this trek into the second round robin for Top Esports, and really want to see what they can do to pull off potentially that first seed coming into the postseason as well as the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll have to I might take a look at the schedule here quickly, because I'm not actually sure like what their upcoming weeks look like. I know that this I believe there's 2 more weeks, but let's have a quick look here. Top Esports, I mean, next week is pretty, like, it's relatively easy. Their final week is pretty tough. The final week 5, they're against AL, BLG, and JDG in back-to-back days. That's going to be a pretty tough week for them. I think it's a very important one, obviously, for standings, but if they can push through that week as well, they definitely can land in the top spot.
They can indeed. Thank you so much, JBetto, for joining me for this second series. But we are not done just yet. Dia and Alk will be coming in for the third series of the night, and it is going to be a fun one. JDG versus Team WE. Who can find that middle ground here in Group Ascend? We'll see you on the other side of this break, and we'll see you for the third series.